I'm Messi, and we're watching Bat Bombs, More Terrifying Than Atomic Bombs? By the Fat Electrician. Let's get into it.
Today we're talking about the only animal-based weapon of mass destruction ever conceived. Ladies and gentlemen, America's Bat Bomb.
Okay. Hold on, back up.
Ladies and gentlemen, America's Bat Bomb.
Now right there, a little bit for father.
Today we're talking about the only animal-based weapon of mass destruction ever conceived. Ladies and gentlemen,
The animal made. What do you mean by made by an animal? Where are we going with this?
America's Bat Bomb.
You don't mean Batman.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
As many of you are probably aware, at the end of World War II, America was looking for a new superweapon that could prematurely end the war. Option A was always the atomic bomb. Option B was, well, that was also the atomic bomb. But option C involved 1 million free-tailed Mexican bats and napalm. No, I'm not making this up. I read the
Oh my god. Why? Why? I understand. I get it. Because when we did the thing with Japan, dropped the 2 bombs, we were like, we got a third one. Wink, wink. Didn't have a third one. So I understand why Plan 3 was actually something else. But, really? Napalm with bats? Come on.
entire book to get ready for this video. Okay, here's the deal. It's not really a bomb, it's a giant bird cage that looks like a bomb, and inside of each one of these cages was 1,040 free-tailed Mexican bats that had a napalm incendiary device superglued to their chest that was rigged to go off with a timer. The idea was to do a bombing run at dawn, releasing a bunch of these canisters. After being released, they would travel down several thousand feet before deploying a parachute. This would both slow down the cage and open it so all the bats could fly away. And because
I like animals, and my instinct is going, no, that's so rude. Why? Those poor bats! No! Why? That's right, Finn. That's right. Cry for the bats. But also, napalm is so damaging. All that chemical burn and it'd be in the air to be like raining down on you.
as they were doing this bombing run at dawn, all the bats would immediately try to find somewhere to roost for the day so they could go to bed. And since they're bats, that's always going to be some dark, hard-to-reach nook or cranny like an attic, and given that Japan was made pretty much exclusively out of wood and paper at that point in time, presented an enormous issue in 2 hours when those bats would burst into flames and presumably light an entire city on fire. Bah! Does this hurt the bat? Bah! Yes, this hurts the bat, okay? Just
why would you even ask that? Obviously it hurts the bat. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? The bats are pretty much guaranteed to die.
don't tell PETA. I don't need them coming after me with their frail, anemic wrath. I mean, realistically, they're gonna find this video anyways, because one of them's gonna be Googling bath bombs. Google's gonna be like, oh, did you mean bat bombs? And they watch my video. Now it's demonetized, so we're gonna have a sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, this video is brought to you by JX Tactical, makers of my personal favorite holster, their trademarked Fat Guy holster. It allows you to carry a firearm and have a little bit extra room for tactical fluff. Anyways, back to these bat bombs. Now, I think we can all agree that this idea is so fucking stupid that it's genius, so who is the madman that came up with it? Ladies and gentlemen, a dentist and part-time inventor from Pennsylvania by the name of Lytle S. Adams. A man whose other inventions included a fried chicken vending machine and a way to pick up mail by plane without having to land the plane. So clearly, things are starting to add up. In January of 1942, he would write a letter to the White House and
first off, take his pen away. Second off, don't let him admit anything else. All those ideas sounded awful. The first one, inhumane. The second one's gonna get you sick from a vending machine that does fried chicken. And the third one, not practical.
let me tell you, it is one of the letters of all time. It opens up pretty strong with, and I quote, "Shall the sun set quickly over the land of the rising sun, with a dawn visit at a convenient time in an appropriate way." He then goes on to, in detail, explain that bats are the lowest form of life in the animal kingdom, and that he is thoroughly convinced that they were placed on Earth by God to help America win World War II with a bat bomb. So,
I think he just is afraid of bats or something. I think this guy just hates bats. I don't understand where any of his logic came from. There is no scientific evidence for any of this shit about bats. They're actually really intelligent and they're mammals. So technically they're the same mammals. They're mammals like us. Why? Why are you like this? And before you ask, no, As a dragon, I'm not a mammal. But even I understand this is wrong. Even I. And they're also the only mammal that can fly. Come on, dude.
Clearly a well-balanced individual. I mean, we're talking about manifest destiny for fucking bats, for Christ's sake. In the letter, he then goes on to in detail explain why this is such a good idea. Bats are faster than birds. They can carry twice their weight. You can throw them in the fucking fridge so that they go into hibernation, and that'd be a really convenient time to strap a bomb to them. You know, awesome stuff. I think the point I'm trying to get to is there's no way in hell this letter is making it through the screening process at the White House to make.
The fact that you know you could throw them into a cold environment and make them hibernate makes me wonder what you're doing with bats at your house, sir. What have you already been trying out? Why do you just randomly know this information? What have you been doing to these fucking bats as a dentist? Also, what are you doing to people? You're operating on them. What the fuck, dude? I don't trust you anymore.
Get to the president, right? Wrong. Apparently this guy knows Eleanor Roosevelt, mails the letter directly to her, she gives it to FDR, and FDR fucking loves it. He immediately forwards the letter to his military generals with a note of his own that says, and I quote, "This man is not a nut. It's a perfectly wild idea that we need to look into." And that's it. The president said we're doing it. We're fucking doing it. America's building a bat bomb because a dentist in Pennsylvania said so. All right, fast forward like a year and a half. They figured out how to make the bomb itself. They figured out that they're going to use the Mexican free-tailed bat because it's very fast and very strong. They figured out that they're going to use napalm instead of white phosphorus. They've figured out how to attach the incendiary device to the bat itself. All that's left to do is to test it, and on May 15th, 1943, that's exactly what they're gonna do. Needless to say, everybody that knows about it's really excited. All the bigwigs are showing up. There was even a Marine Corps General, Louis DeHaven, that showed up unannounced and uninvited because, well, he's a Marine and he heard that somebody was gonna be blowing shit up with bats, and that's...
Alright, first. He glossed over a lot of stuff. Alright, so... just so you guys know, I do not condone these experiments at all. Okay? Okay? And I'm not sure if they did the white phosphorus, if it would have been a bomb or not. However, both of these are highly flammable, and white phosphorus is highly reactive, just like napalm. But white phosphorus can combust spontaneously, just so y'all know. It burns at extreme temperatures. It can cling to skin and burn through bone. So I'm kind of glad they at least decided not to go the white phosphorus route. And it's also insoluble in water. Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm glad white phosphorus was at least kicked out of the thing. Phosphorus fires are not fun. Neither is napalm. But why the fuck are we even judging this? Why is this even a question? Why did you get us here? Dude from Pennsylvania, Dennis, you need your license taken from you. Hi, this is an interrupting message from your favorite dragon VTuber, Mezzle. Just so you know, the maidens have launched, and with that, we have launched our first merch set together. We have a lanyard, some pins, some desk mats, and posters for sale. Thank you guys so much.
It's just what Marines are into. So they start the first test. They're going to drop 250 bats with nothing attached to them just to see how the bats react to falling out of an airplane. So the bomb drops, the canister's open, the bats take off. They go like 20 miles to some ranch that's near the airfield. They're everywhere. They're in this guy's barn, they're in his attic, they're in his hay. The bat bomb worked perfect. Okay, so test number 2. Now they're going to...
No, why are we even testing this? And also, just a disclaimer. I cannot accurately say which is worse, the napalm or the white phosphorus, but as someone who works in a place where phosphorus fires could happen, to me that is very dangerous that they would even put those on animals or even release those even during warfare. I don't get it. I don't get it. I know it's war. I know y'all gonna tell me it's war, things are different, but like, on the poor bats though. I'm worried about the bats.
Strap the incendiary devices to the bats, but they're going to de-weaponize them just to see how the bats behave when they're carrying their own body weight worth of explosives. So again, they drop the bomb, the canister's open, the bats take off, but they don't go nearly as far because they're over-encumbered. Instead, they decide to just infest everything on the airfield. They're in the barracks, they're in the airplane hangars, they're underneath the general's car. And then 15 minutes later, they realize that they forgot to de-weaponize them. The bats blow up and burn the entire fucking place to the ground.
How did you forget to de-weaponize the fucking bombs. Who the fuck is that stupid? Also, they better have lost their job. Just saying. Like, holy shit, that's a mother of all mistakes. What the fuck? Oh my god. Is this napalm or white phosphorus? Which one was it? I don't even know anymore. I forgot. I feel like it was napalm.
So the entire Army chain of command that's been in control of this project the entire time freaks out. They decide they're going to terminate the whole thing because obviously it doesn't work. And that's when that Marine Corps general that wasn't even invited, General Lewis McCaven, shows up as like, no, it worked perfect. You dumbasses just forgot to de-weaponize the bats. If you don't want it, the Marine Corps is going to take it over because this shit's awesome. And that's pretty much exactly what happens. The United States Marine Corps takes over the entire project and it becomes known as Project X-Ray. Why'd they call it Project X-Ray? I have no fucking idea, and neither does anybody else. I mean, to be fair, we all knew the Marines were going to be in charge of this at some point. I mean, their entire life motto is, it's not stupid if it works, and that's exactly what this project is as a whole. So the Marines went ahead and continued testing. They ended up testing it in a mock Japanese village at Dugway Proving Ground, and what they discovered was that the average incendiary bombing run would light about 400 fires. The average bat bombing run would light about 4,700 fires, meaning that the bat bombs were 12 times more effective than a regular incendiary bomb. Okay, look, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think most of you are picking up what I'm putting down. Being 12 times more effective than regular incendiary bombs means that the bat bomb is one of the most effective and most deadly weapons of mass destruction ever created. And
I got what you're putting down, and I hate that the numbers are that much higher because it just encourages them to do it. God damn it, put the pins down. Put him down, you're not signing that order.
I know that sounds stupid, but I promise you it's true. If you were to ask most people what the deadliest bombing run of all time was, guaranteed they would probably guess Hiroshima or Nagasaki. It's a great guess, it's the only time the atomic bomb's ever been used, and it was very deadly. But it was not the deadliest. The deadliest bombing run was done on March 9th, 1945, when America firebombed Japan. More people died from that bombing run than Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. And that was done with regular incendiary bombs. So you can imagine what would happen if bat bombs were dropped, which are theoretically 12 times more effective. It would have been absolutely catastrophic. I realize that we're getting oddly serious and I apologize, but it absolutely blows my mind that in the biggest military conflict the world has ever seen, in the search for a super weapon, you had a bunch of scientists, the most brilliant minds in the world, that figured out how to split an atom in half, breaking chemical bonds, releasing an immense amount of energy and radiation and destructive force. And then you have the Marines that are like, I need a bomb-shaped colander, 1,000 bats, and
I'm not gonna lie, there's a reason why the Oonga Boonga method works in video games. And it works in real life, and I hate that it does, cause shit like this happens. I'm not even fucking kidding you. I'm not even surprised this is a thing. I hate that it's a thing, I hate that it got tested, because again, poor bats. But I am not surprised. Have you looked at our history, at all the shit we try, and then it just works, and we're like, yay! But we should be like, oh, maybe not. But then we're never like that. We're always just like, let's do it again, because it works so well. Yeah, we're kind of monsters of destruction, just saying.
Some jungle jelly, and somehow the Marines managed to be more deadly. It makes no fucking sense. It's making me question everything, because my entire life I thought Batman was kind of a bitch for being scared of bats. Like, just grow a pair, grab a tennis racket, start Babe Ruth in those motherfuckers, and move on with your life. But no, as it turns out, Batman was right. Bats are absolutely terrifying, and it's all because some dentist taught the Marines how to turn them into a WMD, and I have no idea how to end this video. So I guess if you made it this far down this weird history rabbit hole, thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com.
I'm not gonna lie, but Electrician, I'm with you here. I don't know how to end this either, and like, this was a lot, but honestly, you did great. I love your content, but military, stay the fuck away from bats, please. Thank you. We don't need a bat bomb used in real life. We're good. Thanks. Okay, love you. Bye. It's Mezzy. See you later.